holy biscuits! That episode of 86 was phenomenal. This show is quite literally on fire since the last couple of episodes, and this episode may just be my favorite episode yet of 86. I mean, I haven't decided yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm leaning towards this being my favorite currently, which is funny because I thought the debut episode of part 2 was probably the best episode yet. Now, I don't know what to think. This episode had a lot, and it really felt like one of the most grimmest episodes since Eugene's death, where, I mean, at the very end, after the after credits, wow, is Lena dead? It seems like the Republic of San Magnolia is all but destroyed and has fallen to the might of the Legion. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see if, well, is Lena alive or not? I have my own theories on that and what happened to San Magnolia later near the end of the video, but we should just go ahead and jump right into this episode because, oh boy, there's a lot to talk about. So first off, some house cleaning and some sad news to announce on episode 18th, I think that's November 13th episode. Either way, next Saturday's episode of 86 will be delayed due to production errors, and as well on December 13th, the episode will not air due to special programming. So if you're looking forward to next week's episode, it's probably not going to happen. I'm going to try to have a video in its place though, something 86 related, so if you guys have any suggestions, put down in the comments below what you would like to see from me. Other than that, I will have the same thing going for the December 13th episode, something special. So for those weeks that there are no 86 episodes, give me some suggestions down in the comments below. This episode starts with a really cool musical opening from Sawano, of course, the legend himself. This episode actually had a really big Legend of the Galactic Heroes feel to it, which is funny because Sawano scored the retelling of that. I'm still not actually sure what to call the new Legend of the Galactic Heroes, which funnily enough, that was one of the first big series that I covered weekly. I used to get like 1,000 views a week, which back then when I had like, I don't know, was it 4,000 subs or something like that? Those were the days. If you remember that was 2018. If you're still around, put down in the comments below, tell me. But anyways, the Legion has attacked seemingly San Magnolia and the Republic based off what happened in the last episode. And then what we've seen in this episode, things are going to get a little bit dicey for the Republic and San Magnolia in particular. And I am, as we've seen in the ending song, things aren't looking up for the Republic at all. But we'll talk more about the Republic and Lena once again in a later part in the episode, because there's a scene where she's in that I'm not sure how to take. So the Legion has developed a new railgun. They're calling it Morpho, and they attacked the military base, killing plenty of people. Besides the Legion's attack on the military base, Frederica is worried that Shin is going to become like Kiri and lose his mind and go down that same path. And if you have noticed in the last couple of episodes, especially the last one, Shin is going down this path where his mental health isn't all there. As we'll see later in the episode when he gets the letter from Nina, he opens that letter. He had a huge mental breakdown, which sent him into this, this vision where he blamed himself for the death of Eugene, which is what Nina blamed him for. That letter he got from Nina was absolutely heartbreaking. I believe the letter said, "You killed my brother, give my brother back." And that was absolutely heartbreaking. I like the touch where he read it while he was in the cockpit, because to me, I see that as his place where he's the strongest. So of course he wouldn't read the letter in his room, he would read it in the place where he has the capabilities to fight back and protect himself. That was a really nice symbolic touch. And of course, this whole series has been full of symbolism. If you haven't noticed, just go back and check out the previous episodes, because there's a lot of stuff going on. Like, for example, in the first episode of part 2, they have the symbolism of Lena's head being cut off by a statue that has a sword. Now, is that foreshadowing to what's maybe happened with San Magnolia and the Republic? Well, I'm not sure, but we'll have to see. I don't think they're gonna kill Lena. That would kind of be a weird move to do, I would think. Interestingly enough, it seems that from the previous episodes, how Legion had very simple attack patterns was simply just a trick. In reality, the Legion are very smart, and they use that as a way to basically buy time, trick the 86, 86 and the Alliance into doing what they did and really buy time, I suppose, to use this railgun, which is going to be repaired in 2 months, 8 weeks. And if they don't repair it, then they'll be safe. But if they do repair it, then basically they're going to fall to the Legion. So because of that, surprise, surprise, they're going to have to send in Shin and the rest of the 86, which prompts a very great scene. This episode really focused on Shin quite a bit and focused on his character development and his state of mind and the way he's feeling, but as well mirroring so much of the events that we saw in, well, the previous season of the way the Republic treated the 86. I think one of my favorite scenes in this episode was easily the scene where they figure out they're going to send Shin and the rest of the 86 as the Spearhead Squadron, which, hey, deja vu, that's exactly what they were to the Republic. This prompts Shin to remember all of the people in the Republic when he fought on the Republic, all of his soldiers and comrades, all those people that have died, and poof, start turning into the dog tags that he made out of the shell of the mechs himself. This was a really, really good scene. The music was absolutely amazing. Samano honestly outdid himself once again. I like how Shin recalls all of the words that were said to him in the past in the Republic, and it seems that those things, while on the outside he has this very kudere, almost expressionless personality, on the inside it seems to be something that has been eating away at him and bothering him for quite a while. And the climax of this scene is when he imagines Vladilena and he has to say goodbye to Vladilena because I guess he assumes, I guess in my mind, the way I saw this, is that he assumes that the Republic is kind of fudged at this point, so to speak, and he has to let go of that past, which is really sad. I think this episode is really trying to make us think that Vladilena is not of the living anymore. And because of that, I think this is somewhat of a red herring. I don't think she's actually dead, especially with the end credit scene where they show her room just completely massacred and destroyed. We don't know the time frame of that. We don't know if that happened during the events of this episode or not. We don't even see Vladelena's body in any sort of circumstance, so it makes me think that she's not dead yet. But either way, this scene where Shin remembers her, it's obvious that this girl has really penetrated his headspace and kind of lives rent-free inside of his head. So it makes sense as to why Shin has such strong memories of this woman and why she probably means so much to him. I mean, Vladilena, let's be real here, is one of the only people to treat Shin and the rest of the 86 like a normal human being. And as well, I think that it means a lot to Shin because she is the first real handler and commander of the 86 that actually was worth a damn. To him, that likely means that he has a lot of respect for her. Maybe, something a little bit more romantic. I think this is where the show's romance probably is going to really start developing quite a bit. I think a big part of this arc for Shin and what it means is that his character is now realizing there are things that he probably wants to fight for. And I think that really starts with Frederica. As we saw in, I believe maybe it was this episode or the previous episode, I don't have it written down in my notes, I can't remember at the moment, but Shin makes mention that he fights for Frederica to keep her safe. Now keep this in mind, we've never seen a Shin that has fought for someone else. He's always fought for himself to keep himself alive and for the rest of his comrades. But he's never fought for a singular person that he wants to keep safe from a personal standpoint because he cares for them in the way that he does Frederica and, let's say now, Vladilena. And I think that is where this character needs to go and needs to realize so that we can get to this romance between Vladilena and Shin, which I'm pretty excited for. I don't remember the last time I've watched a series that has a romance in it. So to have a series that actually has it in a series especially like this between two characters I love, like Vladilena, it's going to be a really, really awesome thing for me to cover that on the show week to week. I don't know if we're going to get it this season, probably next season into season 2 most likely, but I am ecstatic ecstatic to actually have a romance in an anime again. I'm trying to remember the last romance that I've seen in an anime, and I can't think of it. So to have something like this is going to be quite awesome to see, and I'm all here for it. I ship those two so hard. Another really awesome scene with Shin is something we've never seen before, and that is Shin actually raise his voice and get emotional. As we know, based off his straight-laced, no facial expressions, Shin is a kind of guy that doesn't react much. He doesn't think with his emotions, he thinks with his head, which is now at this point in the series kind of being toyed and played with, because Wenzel tells Shin that he should just, after this, he should let the foreign soldiers deal with the railgun and he should leave the army. Shin doesn't want to do that. Shin actually gets angry because he believes that giving up on this fight against the Legion is giving up on his free will. We had a scene earlier where Frederica kind of says the same thing to Shin, where Frederica is like, you guys probably deserve to be treated a little bit differently. And Corinna gets mad at Frederica, stating that she doesn't want to be treated any differently than anybody else. She is a person like any other. This scene really reinforces that scene, or well, I should say that scene really reinforces this scene, because Shin is a person who doesn't want to give up on his will, because his will is his will to fight. And to tell him to say, hey, you should not fight, that is paramount to him, to anyone saying to him that, hey, you should just give up and die. Lay down and curl up and die. And Shin is not that kind of person, and the rest of the 86 are not that kind of person, so they're not going to do that. As well, I think people don't understand the 86 and what they went through and their mentality on things, and I think people are really missing the forest for the trees when it comes to the 86. They see who they are now. They see the outcome of what they've done, but what they don't see is the fiery passion inside of them, the reason they fight. They just look at these people as broken people, and they don't realize that that's not the point, is that they're broken people. The point is that they're soldiers fighting a war that needs to be fought. I think people don't understand that without the 86, they're losing a key component in the war. I think without the 86, you don't have this war go to these lengths, and especially with Shin's power of the supernatural power of being able to see whatever he's able to see, I guess, is it not into the future, but he's able to see certain things about the Legion, his supernatural power as they describe it. You can't really let someone like Shin go, or the rest of the 86, because of those abilities, much in the same way you can't let Frederica go because of her abilities. Now, this is where we get into the final part of the episode, where we see that it seems the government, the Alliance, is working against the 86 in this aspect, and there are people within it trying to get rid of the 86 as they see the 86 as monsters. This is I think the first inner conflict in the government of the Alliance that we've gotten, and I think it's not going to end well for those people that have pinned them as monsters and want to destroy the 86. I think also it's a bad move because of how important they are to the war effort and their abilities as fighters. It just doesn't make much sense to me to have these people that are detrimental to your war effort and want to kill them just because you don't understand them. It's almost like a form of racism or prejudice in some sense of the word. And that is what surprises me the most about it, is that even when the humanity has their back against the walls, there are still people that are trying, due to some sort of prejudice or racism, try to stop the 86 from saving everyone. It's stupid. And I think that's the point of it, is because it is stupid. And we're going to see in most likely the next episode or two that the 86 is going to win and destroy the railgun and prove these people wrong, and these people will be exposed for the hacks they are, so to speak. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how the next episodes of 86 progress, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. What did you think about this episode? What are your theories on Vladilena? Is she alive? Is she dead? I want to hear. While we wait for next week's episode, check out this video on the last episode of 86. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.